Gaming Bolt presents 12 weird facts about the Fallout series that are true. Fallout 76 is just on the horizon and brings the signature post-nuclear open world into an online environment. To celebrate the same, we're looking back on the series as a whole and examining 12 weird facts behind it that are all true. Without further ado, let's take a look. Vault 13, a GURPS post-nuclear adventure. Fallout wasn't always going to be the post-apocalyptic violent RPG that put Interplay and Black Isle Studios on the map. Instead, it used to be called Vault 13, a GURPS post-nuclear adventure, and based off of Steve Jackson Games' GURPS. At some point, it seemed that the game would be about time travel, which was removed in favor of a post-nuclear setting. It was all going well until Steve Jackson saw the violence in the game and decided against the GURPS system being used, though Jackson said Interplay took this step on its own without providing a reason. As a result, Black Isle went with its proprietary special system, and with Brian Fargo suggesting the name Fallout, a franchise was born. The Temple of Trials. The Temple of Trials, a tutorial system that players had to go through every time a new game was started in Fallout 2. As it turns out, the decision to implement it wasn't Black Isle's decision, but Interplay's. It was apparently added just a few days before the game launched at the publisher's behest. Fallout Van Buren. You've probably heard the name Fallout Van Buren at some point. This was likely going to be a true sequel to Fallout 2, the proverbial Fallout 3, as it were. Sadly, Interplay chose to develop a new Brotherhood of Steel title, this one being an action RPG for the PS2 and Xbox. Van Buren would ultimately be cancelled due to budget issues, but at the time, fans felt slighted by Interplay's insistence on another Brotherhood of Steel game that no one asked for. Fallout Tactics 2. Speaking of Brotherhood of Steel, the first title to bear that name was actually Fallout Tactics Brotherhood of Steel, developed by Microforte. As a tactical role-playing title that eschewed the franchise's open-ended nature, Fallout Tactics actually received some strong critical acclaim. Before its release, a sequel was actually in pre-production, but due to poor sales, it was canned before making any significant progress. Fallout 1, 2, and Tactics removed from digital stores. You'd think that the acquiring of the Fallout franchise by Bethesda from Interplay would have been smooth, and you'd be wrong. Due to legal issues arising between both companies, Fallout 1, 2, and Tactics would be removed from Steam and GOG temporarily. This happened as recently as 2013, which is the real kicker. Following the transfer of rights to Bethesda on January 1st, 2014, it set about removing information pertaining to Interplay, and the games returned not long after. Announced before Oblivion. As noted above, Fallout 3 was under development as something else when Interplay still owned the franchise. However, the Fallout 3 as we know it today began development in 2004. What's particularly interesting is that it would be announced before The Elder Scrolls IV Oblivion. Development also didn't kick into gear until Oblivion released in 2006, but fortunately it only took Bethesda another 2 years to release Fallout 3. Burnout and VATS. Perhaps the biggest addition to the Fallout series since Bethesda picked up the IP, besides the first-person perspective, is VATS. The Vault-Tec Assisted Targeting System allows players to target specific body parts with varying degrees of success. While shooting body parts was also a part of Fallout 1 and 2, VATS in Fallout 3 was inspired by Burnout's Crash Mode, which would explain the exaggerated slow motion and over-the-top violence. Jake Howard. Let's be honest, Liam Neeson voicing the protagonist's father, James, in Fallout 3 was pretty cool at the time. You get to grow up with the man watching over you after all. But who voiced the Lone Wanderer as a baby? Interestingly enough, it was Jake Howard, the son of director Todd Howard. The voice is taken from Jake's first birthday. Fallout 4's Vault 101 jumpsuit. With Fallout 3 being set in the Capital Wasteland and Fallout 4 taking place in the Commonwealth, you wouldn't expect the jumpsuit of the Lone Wanderer to be found anywhere in Boston. And that's true for the most part. However, if you use console commands, you can obtain a Vault 101 jumpsuit for the sole survivor. Why is it in the game if it doesn't actually appear anywhere? Well, good question. Killing Elder MAXSON. The tale of Paladin Danse is probably one of the more unfortunate circumstances in Fallout 4. Once you discover he's a synth, Dance must either be killed or exiled from the Brotherhood of Steel. However, Tumblr user Tentacle Explosion discovered some unused audio files in the game which hint at a different ending, one that would have apparently allowed the player to rise up against the leader Elder MAXSON. Not only that, but the player would become the leader of the Brotherhood while Dance would swear his allegiance yet again, despite being a synth. It's a shame we never got this ending in the actual game though. Fallout 3's WANAMINGO. Remember the WANAMINGO from Fallout 2, that strange, two-legged alien-looking thing with a massive jaw? A mutant version was originally meant to appear in Fallout 3. Along with a larger mouth, it was more pink and actually had no tentacles. The Art of Fallout 3 book revealed concept art for this version of the WANAMINGO, but ultimately it didn't make it into the final game. Fat Man Bell. Say what you will about the Fat Man, but having a portable nuclear launcher from Fallout 3 onwards was pretty awesome. Funnily enough, the Fat Man is based off of the M28/M29 Davy Crockett weapon system, which could actually fire M388 nukes. Developed in the 1950s and named after Davy Crockett himself, the weapons were known for their poor accuracy. So what gives with the bell you hear after shooting it? Turns out that this is the lunchroom bell that sounds off in Bethesda's offices. And that about does it for this video. If you enjoyed what you watched and want to see more from Gaming Bolt, you can always hit that subscribe button and turn on the bell icon next to it. That way you will never miss any of our videos.